Hey, fellow riblets, this is me, Tom from Target Prime Rib. Just wanted to come on here for a few seconds. I know it's unexpected, so I don't expect too many people to be on here. I just wanted to test out my I just want to test out my internet. I finally got the Ethernet adapter to be able to have wired internet. So I was just seeing if I could test it out. So even if I just get one person, that is really great. I'm seeing some really great things so far. Hey Sandy, hey Jonathan, how you doing? Granny Boo, how you doing? Wow, three people. I did not expect that. So again, I'm just testing out my internet speed and like that. So if you do see me freezing, let me know in the chats. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen. Um, and what better thing to share it with than a thing that I just saw with Amy? And tell me if you see. All right. So this is she's going to do on the 30th at 12 o'clock and live, um, uh, featuring me, Aaron, and the Feral Grandma and herself for contest winner revealed. So I guess it's a contest to be the next Carnivore Avengers. So that's actually pretty cool. All right. So I don't know if you just saw that or not. Oh, maybe now you're going to see it. So let's put that on the screen. And there it is right there. Okay. And so we got that one tested. So take that off the screen. And now let's do a photo and see how quickly that comes up and see if that is actually. I will do this one actually for my next live coming up. All right. So I'm going to put that. And this is my thumbnail that I made for Caleb. All right. So that came pretty quickly up, and I didn't have any problems. I didn't have to do it 3 times or 4 times. So I guess I'm getting better speed now. How long that lasts, who knows? So let me say hello to different people in the chats. Okay, so Jonathan says that the video is very laggy. Okay. And I'm still freezing a little bit according to Sandy. All right. Well, then some echo. All right. All right. Well, I'm not really sure what else to do. I got the connector for the new computer because the other one was totally shot. The other computer, because it was over 20 years old, it was almost 25 years old, and I was wired. I'm wired now. I'm not unwired. Oh, sorry about that. A little dark. That wasn't internet. That was my light. So as you can see, I'm just going to plug it a little bit. Oh, I just disconnected it by mistake, but um, that's the wire I got. So I'm going to plug it back in. All right. So you just heard that beautiful sound. Who knows what's going on there? Seems better now. Okay. So, I mean, I gotta admit that's a little problematic. And, if this does this for Caleb, or I guess I'll try a couple more weeks, but it might be the the company. So that's going to be a little bit more problematic because it's going to switch. I'll be honest with you, it's going to switch out his cable, and it might give him less than what he has now and everything. So because it'd be a whole different company for both the cable and the internet. So or Right now I'm using Optimum. I don't know if any of you are in New Jersey or not. I don't think you are, so I don't know if any of you know of Optimum, but don't apologize, Sandy. It's a test, right? So let me actually do a couple things. I'm going to actually get rid of some of the tabs. You tell me if that makes it a little bit better. I'm only going to be on here for a short while. I'm actually going to be, it's been a month already since my last elongated fast, so I'm actually going to be doing another elongated fast starting tomorrow, but this time only for 3 days. I'm not going to be doing the 4.5 days that I did last time. It didn't really do much of a difference, the 4 days, so I'm just going to do the 3 days, at least try for it. If I feel like it after 3 days, if I feel like keep on going, different story, but right now I'm just aiming for 3 days. So I'm going to start tomorrow, or actually technically I'm going to start tonight at around 5 o'clock, and then so closing the tabs out. You think that helps, Andy? Um, yeah, I'm going to basically stop tonight around 5 o'clock. My last bite, and I'm going to probably go back around Tuesday morning. So from that to that, and but this time's gonna be a little different. Sandy, oh, there it is. Okay, okay. So yes, okay. This time is gonna be a little different though, because this time I am going to I'm going to try my best to abstain from coffee as well. All I'm going to have is water and any form of water. So seltzer is fine because technically that's, if I'm not mistaken, that is water. Or if I really want to be, and I will, because I've been having some stomach issues, especially in the morning when I wake up. I'm going to, have some apple cider vinegar in the water. But other than that, now today I did have a sudden drop in my blood sugar, but I took some insulin when before going to work, and it was about one. It was only about 140 when I took it, like 143 basically, but it dropped pretty significantly. It dropped to about well, on the CGM it dropped to about 167, but with the blood stick it probably was even. It was probably even less. Like I was starting to feel the shakiness, and I don't usually feel it at 167, believe it or not, or at least it's not very common. So I did have, I did have to raise it up. So I did cheat a little bit in a way. I did have, well, not even in a way. I did cheat. I had a saltine cracker, one, just to bring it up a little bit for the, had that little bit of carb, mainly because the saltines were free. And I didn't really feel like spending money on anything really. I didn't really have the money on me. And then I did have a couple dollars, but I got myself a diet soda. Um, but I had the apple cider vinegar too and everything. But that was basically all I had. But tomorrow, I unless my sugars are really, 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 really high, which is pretty unlikely. Um, I'm probably not going to take any insulin tomorrow. So I have one more meal coming to me today, and I had about 4 meals. I had 3 hamburgers today, um, and then I went to the pizza place and actually had some fresh mozzarella with some pepperoni, and then some hot sauce on that. And then I went back to the pizza place a couple hours later after doing my walk, which I just did a video, which is going to go out tomorrow. Um, really saying about me testing for today. So, and I'm going to, and I had roast beef with the cheese and some provolone. So yeah, I didn't have like all lion, obviously, and some hot sauce again with some Parmesan cheese sprinkled on top. and I had water in both meals, and then I had 2 cups of my butter coffee, which I've been sort of nursing. I still have the one right here, so I have to keep on stirring it, you know, because it's no longer hot, but it's still good. And and tonight I'll have 3 more burgers, and the burgers I'm soaking in, and what I mean soaking, I mean soaking in the lard. So what I do is a little different today. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I left the lard actually in the pan from the first batch because I figured it's the same day. What's the difference? Might as well use it. Might as well use what's left, and there's still a lot left in there. So I'm just going to, and if I need to add some more stuff, I actually thought maybe add a little bit of the bacon grease in with that and mix it up. So I thought that'd be really good. Even though lard is pork is pig, basically. So it's kind of the same thing in a way. Even Mitch said that one time when I was asking him. So I, you know, so I'm just wondering. I haven't seen anybody in a long time, and I do appreciate everybody coming on here and everything. So I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer. When I said I'm gonna get, I'm not gonna do. I'm just not gonna be doing the super long live today. Um, so there, there is a sort of a first for me in a long time. Not first in my life, but first for a long time. I've been working 4-hour shifts, as you know, because it's just easier for me. But I'm trying to extend. I'm trying to do more. So I am actually doing a 6-hour work schedule tomorrow. Today I did a 4-hour. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a 6-hour, and then Sunday I'm doing a 4-hour. Another difference that I haven't done yet is this will be my first time working 3 days in a row. Usually, the most I'll work is 2 days, take a day or so to rest, like take 1 or 2 days to rest, and then normally like two days, and then I work again. So that's usually the pattern. But for somebody's going away on a vacation, so I'm going to be working not really more hours, but my shift has changed to my work shift has changed a little bit. So tomorrow I am working um, a full 6 hours tomorrow. So I'm slowly building it up. I have nothing wrong, nothing against doing that. I do hurt and stuff like that, but I'm able to go through it, and I'm noticing that obviously I'm hurting more in the morning. So my thought process has changed a little bit. Excuse me. Apologize. My thought process has changed a little bit. That I just don't think I like if I wake up in the morning and I don't feel good, I'm not going to look at it as like, okay, I can't go to work. I'm not feeling good right now. I'm gonna, I already talked to my boss, and he kind of understands that sometimes I might come in and I'm not going to feel very good, and I can't tell you whether or not I'm okay to stay at work or not. But I want to still go in and at least try it because I'm noticing that when I feel sick in the beginning, I'm noticing. Oh, thank you, Sandy. I'm noticing that I am that what I think it is. I think I've always had hair there, but it's always been very fine baby hair, and I think that baby hair is now starting to get darker. So, maybe it's now. I don't know if I'm ever going to get the hair I used to have. I used to have a pretty thick head of hair. Now it's thick this way, but I do appreciate that, Sandy. I really do. Uh, yeah. So, if I'm not feeling that well in the beginning, I probably will go to work. I'll just go a little bit early so I have time to rest, and I'll start the day. And if I'm feeling even sicker or definitely not any better than I did when I first woke up, Now, if I'm really, really bad, that's a different story. But I'm not going to do it just because, like the other day, about a week ago, I actually was throwing up when I woke up in the morning. So that was a little problematic. And I'm still having stomach issues, which is why I'm including the apple cider vinegar water with my fast, because just in case I need, and that really, the apple cider vinegar does help me. What I do is I just I just take it, put it in a thermos, my filtered water, put it in a thermos, add a cap full of the apple cider vinegar, and I bring it, and I don't have it with me, but I have two thermoses. I have one that's right here, this guy right here, okay, um, but he's kind of big, so I don't really need that much water. So I have just a regular, normal, smaller version that's a pink. It was actually my mom's, but she never actually used it because we got it for her um, when she was closer to you know to being really, really, really sick, and so she never ended up using it for anything. So I'm using it. I put my name on it. Who cares if it's pink? That's stupid, right? So, um, so I see Sandy talking, but I see a lot of people in the chats. I see four people according to this thing there in the chats. I don't know who's all here still. I do appreciate Jonathan being here. Actually, I'm very appreciative of Jonathan being here. I've seen you, Jonathan, in many of Rick's stuff, but speaking of the devil, um, he just got in from working. That's cool. Yeah, I'm actually testing out. Yeah, I miss my mom too, Sandy, very much. Think about her all the time. You don't realize how much you think about them. So Rick, just talking about different things. I actually got finally wired internet. I'm finally hooked up to the Ethernet, and I just wanted to test it out. It was a little shaky at first, but then once I closed all the tabs and everything, it got better. I don't know if it's super fast speed or not, but I haven't. I don't think I've frozen yet. Sandy or anybody, if you can tell me if I've frozen, just let me know. You know. Yes. So technically, I'm wired like you. I got the Ethernet adapter. So okay. So Rick, you're saying it's a steady video. That's pretty cool. Um, let me just see something really quickly. This is something I've always wanted to do. Oh, there's nothing on here. Okay. All right. So that only happens if you're testing. I was going to see if I could share something, like a video or something like that, but I closed up all the tabs, so there's no videos to share. So I don't think so, Rick. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. Well, isn't that his job to be all over you, Rick? All right. So I'm going to go into YouTube. I'm going to open up the tabs. If they start slowing down, let me know. Um, I can't really see right now because I'm loading up the tabs. All right. So I'm going to. All right. What I wanted to see is. All right. So we'll just watch. We'll just do this. It's just a thing coming on. I'm gonna mute it though. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen, and this is just a comic book thing. Um, Share it. All right. And I put the volume. Put the volume on. Okay. And
It is honestly like magic.
trying it
Grammarly will
now.
give you confidence that whatever message you're trying to send comes across as you intend. Download Grammarly for free.
Play. All right. All right. So what I'm seeing there.
They can fix it.
Yeah, it's wonky, isn't it?
White guy's answer to all the disappointments and another A-lister. Fair warning, gorgeous. You're going to encounter some...
Okay. So I just pulled it off. So did you guys see that? Did the video play? I guess I did two of me. Okay, that was kind of weird. That I don't know how that happened. Okay, so it looks like we lost one person. I'm not sure who we lost, but that's fine. That's fine. It played but partially. Like when you say partially, like he was like shaking up or just kept on breaking up. And okay, so let's test one more thing out. There's no obligation, but I'm gonna just put the link into the chats like I used to. And if anybody wants to come on, just say hello. I'm going to be stopping at around like 3:50 though, because I have a few other things I want to do, and I want to make my last meal of the day. Um, then some arrow displayed. Okay, all right. Well, it's work in progress, right? I mean, sometimes this, you know, I've tested everything out. I'm using a better computer. I'm wired now, which I think we all know is better than being wireless. And the only thing I haven't done yet is change my carrier. Um, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's the carrier. Maybe the carrier I use just is a crappy carrier. So I don't know. Um, you know, I more than like to hear what you have to say. Um, even if I do have to do the carrier, I it's going to be a while before I can actually switch to that because um, I have to make sure that they would have to, because it's not, if it's a carrier, it's not just about the internet. In this case, it's also about the cable, and since the cable isn't reflecting to me, and really affects my roommate, and he does pay me for the cable that we're doing, or at least he helps me with the payment. I I have to make sure that he's getting, at the very least, the channels that he wants. You know. So we'll let it be for a little while, and we'll go from there. You know. So I'm hoping that, like I said, I did email Caleb, giving him the link and everything like that, and hopefully he is going to respond at sometime soon. Just let me know that you got the email. But the way I'm looking at it is if people don't show up during the interviews, like it passes them or something like that, then I'll just be on for the hour and we'll go from there. You know, but I don't see him not showing up. I really don't. I think I think that he just isn't responding back. Maybe he'll see this video and realize, hey, wait, I have to respond back. Hey, Kurt, how you doing? Um, yeah, I think Caleb would be a very good person, and everything. So, yeah, how did your operation go there, Kurt? Oh God. You're one-handed, so you're one-handed out of commission, huh? Yeah, I would too, Sandy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, but at least it will be back to normal in the 36 hours, or say a little bit longer, probably, right? To get fully full and 100%. And I guess it's good that you finally got the operation, because you've been fighting to have that for such a long time. So finally finished it. It only took me like 5 hours to finish my buttered coffee. I guess I wasn't as thirsty as I thought. 9 months. That's a long time to be waiting for something, you know? It's a long time to be waiting for anything, but it's actually an operation. It's like no one if you have to have an operation, no one wants to wait to have it done. It's bad enough when it's like a week, but 9 months? Sorry you had to go through that, Kurt. So, are you still here, Rick? Oh, 9 months before full use again. Oh, I think you were saying 9 months that you had to wait to get the operation, but it's still. I mean, nine months. I mean, my foot to heal, to close up, took it took a little over a year to fully close up, and it was about 3 years before I was fully able to not have any bandaging, anything like any wraps, any wound vacs, where I'm just the way I am now. So um, you don't think of it at the time. You think the time goes, but it does go. Um, you know what it is the fact that you know it's 9 months or you suspect it's 9 months. It probably will help make the time go by a little faster. It's when you don't know how long the time's going to go that you're sort of like every day you're like, is today the day? Is today it's tomorrow? Like it just keeps on going and going. So but it's still annoying. 9 months is still annoying. Indeed. So, well, I'm going to, yeah, diabetic ulcer, also the amputation, um, all that. The thing that took almost over a year was actually the amputation. Um, my doctor, and he said something about like sometimes that just happens during an operation. Sometimes things don't go the way you plan, and he originally was supposed to do it in a way where he could close it up, and it was just going to be a stitch. But then he didn't close it up, so I'm wondering if there was something with the skin or something like that that it just his plans were not exactly met. Because sometimes you have to kind of think on the draw during an operation, unfortunately, and not everything comes up the way it was planned, even from him or her, the doctor, or even from you, especially from you. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, and you know, and sometimes, so my wound ended up being an open wound for, um, for definitely over a year, like a year and a half almost. And sometimes I think, even though my toes are almost healing, I wouldn't doubt if that's where the infection entered in through. So I could be wrong. I don't know, and I have no proof of that. It's just it makes sense to me because usually that's how infections come in. They come in through cuts. They come in through, open wounds. And what wound was more open than? And you can only protect it for so much. I mean, you can keep it wrapped and stuff like that. Yeah, but there's times I had to wrap it myself, and it's not being done totally properly because I had a hard time reaching it. But you did what you have to do, you know. Um, because this is the stupid thing, okay, with the medical system, at least where I live. I could have gone to private. I could have gone to a private person, private nurse, whatever you want to call it, to come and wrap my foot. And the reason why I couldn't is because it's not because I could wrap my foot. I mean, wound vac is not easy to put on yourself, okay? And nor have I ever tried. I've taken it off by myself, but I've never put it on because sometimes the thing busts and you have to take it off because if if the wound vac's not working, it could hurt your foot even worse if you weren't even wearing it. So I would take it off, and then like the next day I would go to wound care, and like in an Uber or something like that, and I would actually, or even a couple days, whatever, however long it took for me to get a ride, and I would get it re-put on. But the thing is, I normally could have had somebody come to the house, but during those times towards the end, even though I was still using a wound vac, they pretty much turned me down because I was able to move around with my knee walker. So because I was up and able, they said, well, you don't need a nurse. Even though they're not thinking, it's not about whether or not I'm able to walk, it's about whether or not I can wrap my foot. And I can't wrap my foot. But you know how it is. So I digress on that, So, I guess a long time ago I realized that the medical facility, you have two different sides. You have the ones where it's like people are just not thinking, it's just like, really? Does that seem normal to you? Does that seem right to you? And then you have the ones that are thinking, but they're just so overwhelmed and so stressed. And I think part of that is because of how much sicker we are since in the past 50 years or so. It's just, I think we all can agree that the diet, the sad diet has sort of ruined things for us, and that's it's why we found our way, we found the path, so to speak. So I I don't know. So I'm going to get going because, like I said, I actually have a Zoom call that I haven't been on because of the stupid internet issue. So I'm going to actually join on that Zoom call today. I figure why not. Unfortunately, Rick, if you're still here, I will not be seeing your live tomorrow. I am working, but if you're still on, I will make sure to go in and say hello. So don't think that I'm not wanting to see you. It's just I go to work at 6 o'clock tomorrow, so I will be missing, and I'm working 6 hours tomorrow, so I'm going to be working from 6 to 12. So if you're still on after 12, I will hop on and say hello. If not, then I will see everybody on Monday. Well, I'll definitely see everybody on Tuesday, but I will most likely see everybody on Monday during Dr. Kilt's, and that will be the end of my. That will be I'm going to be ending my fast on Tuesday. So everybody have a good day. All right. So live, love, heal, and all of us, in my opinion, probably a lot of other people's opinions, we should eat the meat. All right. You guys have a good day, and I will talk to you later.